which we went to the crypto music festival on the 31st. And I did 2 songs, which I think it went better than everybody thought. And we put a video on YouTube if you want to check. So yeah.
Wow.
So that is sort of the highlight of maybe the whole trip. And because we have the typhoon hitting Japan, so the Shinkansen was canceled. We have to fly to Osaka on the 1st. And we had a whole day event, walking, but also it's raining, so we basically walk in the rain. And we had a AMA, then dinner, and had authentic takoyaki there, so which is pretty good. Supposedly we need to go to Kyoto the 2nd, but again, because Shinkansen was canceled, so we're just heading back to Tokyo. And I'm going back to Japan on the 14th of October, which for the Olympic Park Relay Marathon. In the meantime, I'll be in Singapore. So there will be like, I think 5 to 6 panel or keynote I'll be giving in Singapore. And also we will have a FSL Stepn offline event on the 20th.
That sounds very packed. Why don't you drop the YouTube link in the chat, Yon? I'm sure people would love to see that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so lots to come. A month later in Japan, and meanwhile in Singapore with lots of community events. Cool. Moving on to some serious business. We'll be first diving into Stepn Go beta testing. I think it's fair to say it's made some waves. And there's a lot of demand for codes. So we are going to give away 2 activation codes during this space. So please make sure to stay till the end. Right. About the Stepn Go beta testing, Yon, can you just take us through what it was about and why do we consider this as one important milestone for us?
Sure. So I'll just firstly outline what has happened for beta test, and then we can talk about the implications. So firstly is that the marketplace is live and people can trade, which is in app, and also the GDT is also live in trading. We try to optimize the user experience for the GDT because now the DEX is outside of the Stepn app. So the DEX is easily accessible with the FSID. So if you use a FSID, the browser version, you can log in and then trade GDT, GMT. But in order for you to see the GDT, you have to actually have some GDT in the wallet. So which we are now optimizing this part to make the whole user journey smoother and more intuitive. So this is sort of our next step, which we are working on at the moment. We also enable the passkey for the FSID, the browser version, which also help people to quickly log in the product. And also the house is live. The criteria for house is that you have to burn 2 sneakers and also consume 10 energy. The objective of the house is to get people to share the code and then to get their Web2 friend and family of using the Web3 product. And I'll go through more of future update on this part, which we will have something around toward the end of this year.
And Jan, I must acknowledge that there's a lot of excitement about House, about Web2 onboarding, about not needing an NFT or a wallet to now be part of crypto. But I also want to acknowledge there's a little bit of frustration. How do we even get in? It feels so restrictive. So I think it'll be good to elaborate on the thought process here.
Okay. We basically are fully committed, right? So we want to have a healthy growth of the app. So this means the early onboarding should be somewhat limited. So we limit it to the alpha testers and also their friends and family members. So basically that anybody that participated in the prize draw, doesn't matter win or didn't win the sneaker, they are the early entrant of the app. And also they will be bitten pieces where we give away code, so on and so forth. And onboarding will be slow in the beginning because people have low energy, they don't have enough sneaker. You know, it's not like that in Stepn that people can get max energy relatively quickly. So now here, people will need to stay at low energy for a very long time. And also the fitness level will also prevent people by injecting a lot of resources in the beginning and then get a head up. So basically the new energy system and also the new fitness system really prevent the front loading and also the front running. But this also making the whole progress much slower than, let's say, Stepn. So it's not entirely a bad thing. So we just need to allow a bit more time for people to catch up, and then they will be able to start sharing the code. So we'll be able to see the early user be able to share their code in roughly 1 month of time, and
fantastic.
The user will be able to. So we're already starting to see more and more code starting to be circulated now. So the next step for us is really how we can educate the guests, how they can become the host, and how they can say accumulate enough GDT or GMT, or once they finish their contract, they can start over again. Start as a host by purchasing a sneaker from the marketplace. So in the meanwhile, we will running some code giveaway. Also, there are some KOLs also doing that. The objective is to get as many people to talk about Stepn Go as possible, and also onboarding people that they have never used the product before. Our job basically is to break the final barriers for the Web2 user onboarding to the Web3 product. And in order to achieve this, we have to have a lot of work to do. So we see there's much improvement we can do for the FSID and also the house. So we basically did a lot of reflection about a whole, I think, a year of reflection of what we did right and what we did wrong. And we will use this experience in running the Stepn Go, basically to ensure a sustainable growth. So people have been complaining that, yes, it's hard to get code, but in a month of the time, people see the code much more accessible. And also as we have more base number, they will be able to see, again, people have more sneaker, more base number, more code.
Indeed, that makes a lot of sense. So, product life cycles of games are anyway becoming shorter and shorter these days. And to add to it, the Web3 nature of financialization makes it even shorter, subject to or vulnerable to fast growth and fast crash. And this is something we absolutely want to avoid with Stepn Go. And this is why we're accepting slow growth, but a healthy, sustainable growth. I think this is a very, very solid thought process. It also bears testament to why and how FSL has been here for 3 years, withstanding all bear and bull market. Just taking that a bit further, Jon, I think everything has gone per plan with House, with this sustainable strategy. Just take us through how it has been and what's lined up next.
Okay. In order to provide more and also better user experience, what coming next will be very carefully planned. So definitely, I see actually people were asking, where's the uncommon sneaker, where's the jam system, this and that. So that is certainly not at the moment. We don't even have a timeline. So we will basically build it first, and then we will be able to find the time to release it. Our next step is really to make some update to the FSL ID interface to make people easier to use the DEX function, and also to add additional feature to FSID to make it better integrated with Stepn Go, which is more of a longer plan. And we basically also are designing some quiz system for how to get guests to become independently using the app, and 2 is how to get people using independently the app into become a host. So that's the 2 little things we're working on. So roughly that will be very much on the short term. So we are basically focusing on the short term, while we have already put out the roadmap for the long term, which including each of the roadmaps. So we really want to say that I think the importance of stability and also the sustainable growth, which is the reason that we build the whole thing in order to get the Web2 people in the Web3 ecosystem to allow the sustainability and also the stability. So as we progress with more DAU and offer better market liquidity, I think the market will gradually allow more people to be onboarded. As I said before, so it's always about how we can ensure the stable transition of user onboarding. So people being saying that yes, a little bit expensive, this and that. So that also have to be all factored in into the decision and also the progression of the app. So we are looking at now would be appropriate to just having the common sneaker until we feel it is suitable to move to the uncommon. Because once we open the uncommon, there will be gems. People probably will have much better sneakers than the current sneaker.
Nice. I think it's a very thoughtful and purposeful way to design a non-exploitative Web3 app this way. That's one. And second, the way in which people can onboard their friends, family in a very smooth way with House, when people don't need to purchase an NFT or make a Web3 wallet is something truly unique. And I'm sure people will love that as people are discovering and loving. There's also a fun side to it. I've already seen some posts on X where people are getting all imaginative and creative with their social posts, asking for guests and hosts and motivational letters and virtual CVs. It's really nice. And in fact, we also have opened, inspired by that, a dedicated channel on our Discord where you can find hosts and guests. So in case you want to join, please make sure you do. You can find the link in our Twitter bio. Well, talking about activation codes, how can we not give one, Jan? So maybe it's time to give one. We will also put it in the chat for clarity.
Okay. So the activation code is lowercase r for Romeo, large case L for Lexus, number 4, C in lowercase for Charlie, D in large case for dog, and number 4. So to repeat, RL4CD4 with R and C in lowercase and L and D in the larger case.
Thanks, Jan. All right, so beta is underway. Give us a snapshot of the next few months as we go forward.
Okay, so I think I'm actually very actively talking with Jerry of what should we do next, because although we're having a whole roadmap plan, there are still room for us to improvise a little bit. So I think with the current Stepn Go roadmap, we are probably disclosing roughly, I think, 30% of what we want to do. So we want to give maybe a little bit of, I think, quarterly update every 3 months. So let's say now it's September. In December, we probably can talk about what is the remaining of maybe 30%. And then in next quarter, Q1, we can talk about the rest of 30%. So the product is one thing, but also user experience is also very important. So I'm repeating myself because now we're talking about Web2 people. So if one thing we learned about Web2 onboarding in Web3 product is how difficult it is. We have to really remove all the hurdles. So we are now building features that to remove all the hurdles. Now we probably remove, let's say, maybe 70%, 80%. So we want to get rid of all the barriers for Web2 onboarding. So in this way, we can allow the truly smooth transition between the Web2 and Web3. So that is really the long-term what we're working on. Because only this way we can ensure the sustainable growth of the product. So we are not just tapping into, say, 10 million of the crypto people. but 100 million, hundreds of millions of the Web2 people. So that is the I think let's say midterm objective. With the product and also the features, FSID and Stepn Go, I think we contribute.
Okay, wonderful. So let's wrap that up and move on to Stepn. Now, step number 3 is what people have been waiting for. Our traditional 1-month event has already kicked off on Discord a few days ago, but I know people are curious for what's lined up for the rest of the month. Jan, I think it's time to spill the beans.
Okay, so all right, so we have designed 4 different tasks in 2 weeks for all the Stepn users. And if they complete the 4 tasks, they will be entering to the final raffle to win a part of the 100,000 GMT prize pool. And their 4 tasks are: 1 will be the GM upgrade, and then we will have a meeting event, an enhancement event, and also an energy burn event. Each of these events will last for a few days. If you have to, you have to complete all of them one by one if you want to be part of the final raffle.
Wow, and the best part is a big grand prize pool of 100k GMT, isn't it?
Yes.
Wonderful. To summarize, we have a 2-week-long in-app event on Stepn, and the players will be completing 4 different tasks: 1 gem upgrade, 2nd mint, 3rd enhancement, 4th energy burning, and this prize pool of 100k GMT will be distributed. Lovely. Jan, are you going to be taking part in Stepn?
Oh, it'll be difficult because I'll be in Singapore, so I'll see my schedule. Normally, I do my walking in the afternoon, but again, now I have to jump between, events and after party and panels, and so I will give a crack, if I can. Yes.
Fantastic. All right, and along with that, there will be some side events on our official X and some additional prizes as well during the in-app event. So looking forward to all the Stepners participating in Stepn number 3. Jan, we also recently concluded G-Shock partnership with our first Genesis sneakers for Stepn Go. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and the Genesis sneakers?
Yes. So I think that has been very successful. So we have sold about 17,065 tickets, equal to about 170 million and 650,000 GMT been locked. So I think this is by far the largest raffle mint we have ever done. And we also are very happy that we will continue this and with additional partnerships down the track. So yeah, very looking forward.
Nice. And this is only the beginning for partnerships. We've got some exciting stuff lined up down the next few months. So please stay tuned. Okay, I think now you're heading to Singapore. You mentioned Jan, and there'll be a lot of events. Could you just give a snapshot for the audience in case they want to tune in?
Okay, so on the 16th, I'll do the keynote for the InnoBlock, which is a game-related event conference. And on the 17th, I'll be attending the Podcasters Conference, which will be focused on the social bit. I'll be attending a panel. And then on the main event of Token 2049 on the 18th, I'll deliver the keynote where we discuss how we can make NFT great again through Stepn Go. And on the 19th, I will have a TV interview talking about GameFi. And on the 20th, we will have the Singapore kickoff walk with Mabel and me in the early morning, which will walk around the reservoir in Singapore. I think it's a Macquarie. Yeah, that's that. It is the same one we've done last year. So yeah.
Very nice. And I believe we'll also be at Breakpoint, so maybe a rundown on that too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, yes. Breakpoint. I forgot. So yeah. Also, we'll talk on the Breakpoint. Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the events lined up after that? So, in Lisbon, Turkey, Japan.
Yes. Yeah. So we have 4 lineup. So Lisbon, we have the Fire Launcher and the Laurel Trail on the 15th of September, and Hatsushima in Japan on the 15th of September as well, for the 3rd edition of Stepn Monster. So we have some sponsors down. Do look up their price, which is pretty good. And in Turkey, we'll have with the Trimind on the 21st of September, and Crete with Great Queen on the 29th of September. After that, basically will be the Japan trip on the 14th.
In October.
Which I will attend. Yeah, October. Yes.
Okay. That's a hectic schedule, and in addition to that, we'll also be there in October 22nd in Dubai. So if anyone's out there, give me a heads up, and we'd love to meet you. And additionally, all of these details of our offline events are there on a dedicated events page on our website. So please check it out. I would also like to mention and give a shout out to one other huge development in our ecosystem, and that has been the launch of Mochi, which has been a game on more. So give me a minute to expand on that. There's an exciting update coming for all Genesis Mochi users out there. Firstly, you're now generating invite codes every 5 levels, which is a big deal. And a quick breakdown on the key milestones. Level 10, you see an increase in your SUT earnings. Level 20, you start redeeming SUT. And level 30, there's a mystery reward coming soon. So please stay tuned. And if you're into scoring extra points, don't forget we've got a 5x FSL points event running until September 17th, which basically means you earn 5x points for buying and selling mochis or more. So you can check it out. And if you've missed, we've already burned 2.6 million STAT. And that makes the remaining tokens, as the team says, even more useless. And there are a lot of weekly challenges, giveaways, and community engagement happening right now. So all the love to FSL community for being part of Mochi and making it a success. Right, before we move on to community questions, Jan, can you please announce the password for Galaxy?
Sure. The password is beta, BETA, in all lowercase.
Thank you. Lovely. Right, so this time we got a lot of community questions, and especially on Stepn Go, so we've taken a fair share of them this time. All right, so let's start. Are you ready, on?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is, can guests access the marketplace and buy sneakers?
By our design, they can buy, but when they are remaining as a guest, the NFT will remain in a lock status until they no longer are a guest. So basically, the idea is that for anyone who wants to get into Stepn Go, they have to work for somebody at least for 2 weeks, and then they will be free, and then they can start using the NFT they bought. So this will enable them to experience the product in a much longer time, which is about 4 weeks. So you have to work for somebody for 2 weeks, then you need to go through the finish level for 2 weeks. So for them to truly experience the product, they roughly will start 30 days later. So that's by design, yes.
I think that's a very thoughtful design, because often a lot of guests have found to be completely non-crypto native or knowing less, and this kind of system ensures that they not only get familiar with the Web3 nature, with the trading nature, with the financial nature, but also the app, isn't it?
I think people need to take some time to get familiarized and talk to other people. Too often that we see project progress too quickly. and which will exhaust the growth potential. So this time we are actually putting a lot of restrictions by design.
Okay, so second question, will Stepn Go sneakers and shoe boxes become tradable more?
No, so they will be exclusive to the Stepn marketplace, like what happened to Stepn. So this is basically to avoid any confusion. But with our raffle mint, Genesis sneaker, they will be able to trade on more.
Great. So yes, the sneakers are exclusive to Stepn Go marketplace. Cool. Next question, when do you plan to implement uncommon sneakers?
Okay, as I said, so there is no plan at the moment to implement, but we will proceed to build the feature first. So we are now building the uncommon sneaker and also the mystery box feature. And then we will find an appropriate time to release it.
Okay. Oh, I like this question. So the next question coming up is, will there be a feature in Stepn Go that allows us to have conversations in the app, and so we can support the guests?
It is a good question. And also I read an article talking about Strava become a dating app because people want to sort of escape the matrix, the algorithm-driven, social media. So it is a good, I think, food for thought for us. But the way we designed it originally is really to get people to have more conversation done offline and off the product, either through like WeChat or WhatsApp, Line or Telegram. So basically we want people to talk to each other in real life and also to talk to the real life friends. So we are thinking in sort of a different way. So we want to build a house report system to give hosts a better perspective on their guest performance. And also maybe you can send some, so this is also what we see other product we're doing is basically the spam dump emojis, something like that. So not necessarily we need to have a conversation box where they can talk, because that you can achieve through better product, Telegram, WhatsApp, WeChat, nice. We want to offer, I think, non-speaking way for people to interact. But again, that will be something down the track in the future. Currently, we are working on bug fixing, experience enhancing, all these things.
Of course, but I think this is spot on, because even our features like interactive maps, etc., are in this direction, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, a straightforward one. Will the Genesis filter be added to the marketplace?
Yeah, certainly, because this is also what is available for Stepn, so we will also make it available in the Go marketplace.
Okay, so an interesting one. People want to know what has been the most notable piece of feedback or areas of improvement from the users and the community during alpha testing.
Not during the alpha testing, but I received a very interesting recommendation recently. Basically, is where people were having a bit of a concern where people just renting the sneaker back to themselves. We have heard the same story, but again, we're looking at majority of users are still very happy to share to other people or their friend families. So certainly, renting back to themselves is a minority, but the recommendation of how to fix it is basically asking. The recommendation is that we can extend the duration for the guest from full energy equals 20 minutes to full energy equals 40 minutes. So in this way, if they really rent to themselves, they have to walk double the length, which make it very effective. You're better off just give to somebody else to do it. So we haven't really considered this, but we are thinking this is actually quite creative. Because we really design everything, we triple check everything when we design it, so we are very careful with all the changes. So currently, we have no plan to change the current structure, but we will continue to monitor the user behavior, and then make some decisions.
Okay, fair. I think the feedback is interesting though, and this also hopefully incentivizes users and community to keep sending feedback. These are good food for thought for us always. Okay, quick one. Stepn Go's plan for supporting smartwatches.
This has been a very long sort of a pending issue we had. So we were back and forth on this. Initially we think, yeah, definitely can do it. Then we're finding that, finished data could be easily tampered. Then we say we cannot do it. And then we think, no way we cannot do it. We're probably going to try it again. So this time we will try to figure out a way how we can make smartwatch plausible for Stepn. So yes, we put it on the roadmap. We think we can crack it. How to do it, we don't know, but it's in our agenda. So we should be able to find some way to make it happen.
Okay, fair. And any perks that we are planning based on the number of energy shared per host?
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. So I think this is really tied up to the house system. So, we actually do have some good ideas about how we can make the whole house system interactive and interesting. But again, we are now pretty tied up on, the next level of development, all the new features. So this feature we are probably going to put on the back burner after the quiz system. So we were thinking about if we can give the house some additional feature as people progress with their house level. So that's something that basically are in talk. We'll be able to talk more once we make the decision.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, let's take a couple of fun questions as well from these. So, Jan, you and coffee go way, way back. I think you have an interesting relationship with coffee. So people want to know, how many cups of coffee do you drink each morning?
Okay, just for the record, I'm not drinking tea now. Morning roughly I'll have a latte. Then for lunch I'll have another latte. If I'm gonna drink more, I'm probably gonna have espresso plus a latte. So,
oh wow!
So hopefully the heart rate won't. Yeah.
You have a plan for coffee as well. Lovely. And I think the Japanese community really, really loved having you over. And there were lots of events that they planned for you, especially in addition to formal institutional events like WebEx. They also did episode night, music crypto fest, Osaka Cosmove, and Osaka night, and much more.
Yes.
And I really want to know from you in person, like, did you enjoy them? So that
yes.
you can plan accordingly for too.
But I have gained some weight by attending them. So I'm now actually working extra hard, just to lose some weight, and then probably gonna do it again.
Okay, I think that pretty much wraps it up. This was a relaxed, easy one where we talked mostly about the house system, the onboarding, the concept behind Stepn Go, what we have for future, and of course our exciting Stepn number. But before we wrap it up, we promised 2 codes, Jan, and we've only given 1 so far. So do you mind giving the second one, and we'll drop it in the chat as well for clarity.
Okay. Just my page froze. 1 second.
Do you want me to share it?
Oh, here we go. Yes, I got it.
Okay.
It's lowercase z, large case G, 9, lowercase a, large case m, 1. So repeating again, it's lowercase z, large case G, 9, lowercase a, large case m, 1.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jan. Last but not the least, I do want to give a shout out, a heartfelt, huge shout out to our champions, pioneers, mods. Especially a lot of you are arranging a lot of offline events, IRL, with Yon, without Yon. This really helps the mission of Stepn and Stepn Go, because essentially we want to be here, like we said, not just for 3 years, but 30 years. And that can happen when we bond together. There is just no parallel of bonding in real life. And that is what these events help us do. We've recently, in fact, sponsored one of the marathons as well, and we are very proud of that. More details will come on our social very soon. So yeah, stay happy, stay tuned, and keep stepping. Any last comments, Jan, before we leave?
If people are attending the Singapore event, and they can see me to get a code, if they can see me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Mm. うん